You've just pinned down where the server boundary lives, picked a transport that fits your blueprint, and used tool choice to steer a single request. Now we shift to the conversation itself. Context management shows you how to set and enforce a budget so the agent doesn't drown, compact a long thread without dropping the plot, persist only what matters between sessions, and load context just in time instead of all at once. Let's start by defining a token cap. By the end of this module, you can set and enforce a context budget, compact a long conversation without losing the thread, persist what matters between sessions, and load context just in time rather than all at once. Here is how this module builds up. Context budgeting is a design time limit on what enters the model's context. You enforce it at the boundary before a tool result or any payload lands so the model never sees the noise. The distinction people get wrong is confusing it with compaction. Compaction recovers space after the fact, budgeting prevents the waste in the first place. That boundary enforcement is what makes it a design decision rather than a cleanup task. Without a context budget, tool results accumulate disproportionately to their relevance. An order lookup returns 43 fields, a returns conversation needs 5. The model pays attention to all of it, and by the time you realize the window is full, the useful detail is buried under 38 fields nobody read. In production, that means confident answers built on absent data. The model hallucinates against the noise because it never saw the signal clearly. The cost is support tickets that look plausible but are wrong, eroding trust and requiring human rework. Take the support agent's turn. First, list what consumes context: the system prompt, tool schemas, conversation history, tool results, and case facts. Estimate each. Now, lookup order returns 43 fields, but a returns conversation only needs 5. The trim happens in a post-tool use hook, that is the boundary. You keep order ID, status, items, return window, and shipping address. The alternative is keeping all 43 fields and compacting later, but that loses because the model has already attended to the noise. By the time you compact, the useful detail is competing with 38 unread fields. Finally, if a single tool result would blow the budget, you truncate or summarize it and add a note that it was truncated, never silently drop. The rest of the cases are on the page. The durable rule is, measure first, trim at the boundary, and never silently drop. You cannot budget what you have not measured, so always profile your context consumers before optimizing. Trimming happens in a post-tool use hook because that is the boundary before the payload enters context, not after it has already accumulated. And when a result is too large, you truncate or summarize it and tell the model it was truncated. The author rejects keeping everything and compacting later, not because compaction is bad, but because by then the model has already attended to noise, the damage is done. This is tested as a design decision, not a cleanup task. Exam scenarios will ask where enforcement happens, the boundary, and what to do when a result blows the budget. The distractor that catches people is compact when the window is full. That is recovery, and the exam treats it as a trap because by then the useful detail is already buried. Remember, trimming is prevention, compaction is recovery. This part is testcraft, but the distinction holds in production too. Compaction is not about writing a better summarization instruction. It is about creating a casefacts block, a separate layer of exact values that lives outside the summarized history. This block carries amounts, dates, IDs, and promises verbatim. The distinction people get wrong is thinking they can fix the problem by telling the model to be more careful. That keeps the facts inside the summary, where they still get distorted. Without compaction, a long conversation gets summarized and critical details become vague paraphrases. A refund amount and deadline turn into a billing concern. In production, this means the model acts on wrong information, missing a deadline, quoting an incorrect amount, or losing an order ID. The cost is broken promises and rework. Compaction prevents this by keeping exact values in a separate block that is injected into every prompt, untouched by the summarizer. Take the case from the document. Turn 4 says $247.83 on March 3 for order number 4471, refund promised within 5 business days. After summarization, turn 22 says the customer has a billing concern. To fix this, you write a casefacts block containing the amount, date, order ID, status, and the promise with its deadline all verbatim. You place this block outside the summarized history and inject it into every prompt. The alternative is asking the summariser to preserve important details, but that loses because its judgment is what failed. The document also asks you to restructure 30 findings so the middle 10 are not ignored. You do that by putting key findings first and using explicit section headers. The rest of the cases are on the page. The durable rule is, never trust the summariser with facts you cannot afford to lose. Its judgment about importance is the failure point, so the fix is to put those facts somewhere it cannot reach, a separate layer injected into every prompt. This is true outside any exam and useful in any system you build next year. Rejecting the option to instruct the summariser to be more careful is the key, because that keeps the facts inside the summary where they still get distorted. On the exam, you will see a scenario where summarization loses a critical detail like a refund amount or deadline. The correct answer is always to extract a casefacts block outside the summary. The distractor that catches people is instruct the summariser to preserve important details. That is the trap the author calls out. It keeps the facts inside the summary where they still get paraphrased. This part is testcraft, but the reasoning is the same as in production. Memory in this context is not a vector database or a chat log. It is a scratchpad file that persists findings across context boundaries, and a structured manifest that tells a new session exactly what work was completed, what was partial, and what was never started. The distinction someone gets wrong is assuming session resumption handles both conversation and work state. It does not. The session can be intact while the work state was never recorded. Without this memory, a 6-hour exploration that dies at hour 5 restarts from zero. All findings, names, paths, relationships are gone. The model starts answering with, typically, a service like this would. Because it lost the concrete details. That costs hours of compute and human waiting, and it erodes trust in the system. The manifest prevents the second failure mode, agents redoing completed work or skipping unfinished work because there is no record of what was in flight. This is the beat that makes it stick. Take the 6-hour exploration that dies at hour 5. The scratchpad records findings as they are made: names of classes, file paths, relationships between components, open questions. It is reread by the resumed session, not rederived from scratch. The manifest holds per agent completed scope, where findings are stored, open questions, and what was in flight. That is enough to tell done from partial from untouched. Export at phase boundaries at minimum. The alternative, exporting only on completion, loses everything in exactly the scenario the manifest exists for. The rest of the cases are on the page. The durable rule is, persist what matters between sessions with a scratchpad and a manifest. The scratchpad captures findings as they happen, the manifest tracks scope and status. Export at phase boundaries at minimum. Reject exporting only on completion, because it loses everything in a crash, the exact scenario the manifest exists for. Reject relying on session resumption alone, because it restores the conversation but not the work state. A design with only one fails in the other direction. This is tested with a scenario: a multi-agent exploration crashes late, and you must choose the memory design that lets hour 6 continue rather than restart. The distractor that catches people is session resumption alone. It looks like it solves the problem because the conversation comes back, but the work state was never recorded. The exam wants you to spot that and demand both the scratchpad and the manifest. This part is testcraft. Just-in-time context means the agent fetches information when it needs it, rather than carrying a massive static payload in every request. The distinction people get wrong is confusing this with summarization. Summarizing a catalog to reduce its size still keeps it inside the prompt. You are still paying for it on every turn and it still goes stale. Just-in-time context moves the data outside the prompt entirely, behind a tool or resource the agent calls on demand. That is the line, in prompt versus out of prompt, not large versus small. Without just-in-time context, you get two failures in production. First, your token costs balloon because every request pays for the full catalog, even when the agent never looks at it. At scale, that is real money burned on dead weight. Second, the data goes stale. If your knowledge base updates daily but your prompt is built weekly, the agent confidently gives wrong answers based on outdated articles for days. That erodes trust and creates support incidents. Just-in-time context prevents both. You only pay for what you use, and you always get the latest truth. Take the support agent with 40,000 article titles. First, price the monolithic approach. If each title averages 10 tokens, that is 400,000 tokens in the system prompt alone. At Claude Sonnet pricing, that is dollars per request, multiply by thousands of requests a day, and the cost is significant. Now design the progressive alternative. Instead of the titles, the system prompt contains a tool definition for searching the knowledge base. The agent calls it only when a user question requires article lookup. The alternative that loses is summarizing the titles into categories. That still sits in the prompt, still costs tokens every turn, and now the agent cannot find specific articles because you stripped the detail. The other cases, like a 10-line policy, are on the page, but the 40,000 title scenario is the one that makes the reasoning stick. The durable rule is, if data is large or changes independently of your agent, it does not belong in the prompt. Expose it through a tool or MCP resource. The only exception is content that is small, stable, and needed on almost every request, like a core policy the agent must always apply. When the author rejects summarization, the reason is not that it is technically wrong, it is that summarizing keeps the per-request cost and throws away the precision that made the data useful. You end up paying for a blurry version of the same stale information. That is the reasoning to carry into any system you build next year. On the exam, expect a scenario where an agent has a large catalog in its system prompt. The question will ask for the best improvement. The correct answer moves that catalog to an MCP resource the agent queries on demand. The distractor that catches people is summarizing the catalog into categories to shrink it. It feels like a reasonable optimization, but the exam treats it as wrong because it keeps the per-request cost and loses the detail. This is testcraft. Know that reduce size is not the goal, remove from prompt is. Let's lock in the key moves. First, enforce a context budget early. Waiting until the window is full means useful detail is already competing with noise. Second, when compacting, don't ask the model to preserve what's important, tell it exactly which facts to keep. Third, never rely on session resumption alone, persist your actual work state independently. And finally, load precise context just in time rather than shrinking everything into vague summaries. Those 4 habits will keep your conversations sharp and your costs low.